Welcome to Ask the Lawyer International Edition with attorney Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates in New York. We hope you enjoy the show, which features immigration visitors visa, starting and doing business in New York, entertainment and business visas, religious visas, and much more. Whether you are outside the U.S. or have family in New York, the number to call, share, and keep is 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. Please schedule a consultation with us at www.askthelawyer.us. That's www.askthelawyer.us. This is Ask the Lawyer International Edition. You have questions? We've got the answers.
Good day. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Civil rights, black power, integration. Can African Americans, black people, be ever integrated equally in the United States of America? KKK, Russia, and Trump believes, and half the country believes, that will never happen. Unfortunately, people of color, black people, are still striving to be integrated in a system that is flawed. Is black power, focusing on black power, the emphasis that we should have? Stokely Carmichael, born in Trinidad and Tobago, civil rights leader, had a journey in his life. He and his journey basically looked at integration, looked at black power, and decided that black power is more important than anything else. In 2024, New York City public schools are the most segregated public schools in the United States of America. In 2024, stop and frisk still exists, where they discriminate against black men in particular, and we have a mayor, Eric Adams, a black man who doesn't care nothing. So how has integration really helped, especially our young children growing up in a segregated school system in New York City, which guarantees their failure, guarantees that, hey, they may not develop educationally, business-wise, understand black history because they don't teach it in the public schools here. So what is black power? What is civil rights? And one of the issues that we address at our law firm here, the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, is civil rights issues. What are your rights? What can we do for you? And almost 1 in every 100 times, it is not worth representing anyone on any civil rights issues because, 1, the law is not on your side, and 2, there's no economic benefit for any law firm to represent anyone on a civil rights issue. That is the truth, and that is what occurs here in the United States of America. So whether you're from the Caribbean, Africa, Latin America, hey, when you come to America, and you should come to America, understand that America is not what most people think it is. And one big problem is that, as black people come to America, they want to blame African Americans for their situation, which is wrong. African Americans have been fighting a war, a battle for hundreds of years. Progress was made, but equality is not here in America. Again, my name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. The path to equality economically, obviously, is a good education. So the fact that New York City is still the most segregated public school system in the country of the United States of America, it means that economic equality is taken away from the dreams of young people, meaning we don't have capital, as in cash in the bank, properties that we may own. Obviously, we have those assets in a limited way. However, to move from nothing to something, the only asset that we could invest in is in our minds, in our brains, in our education. Unfortunately, whether it be the New York City City Council, whether it be the mayor of New York City, black, white, liberal, or conservative, they just don't care. What is the solution? Open enrollment. So it's not like if there isn't a solution, but there is a solution: open enrollment. These issues we discuss in our publication, New Black Voices. Yes. You could go to our website for this publication and read our articles about the struggles for black people, African Americans in the United States of America. What we offer on this publication website and in the civil rights blog for the law firm of Figueroa and Associates is: what is the problem? Here is the solution. The law firm of Figueroa and Associates is vested in finding solutions. You give us the question, we will come up with the answer for any legal issue that you may have. Yes, that is how a law firm is supposed to operate. You consult with an attorney, the attorney outlines how he or she will resolve your problem. You give the questions, we give the answers. That is the philosophy that the law firm has. My mentor, Professor Slocum of Rutgers Law School in Newark, New Jersey, I took courses with him on property law and civil rights issues. He's deceased. But that is how he worked with students. He wanted us to think. He wanted us to come up with answers. He wanted us to keep our eye on the prize, so to speak. Additionally, Stokely Carmichael, a Trini, came here when he was 11 years old, went to Howard University. He, through working with John Lewis and others in the civil rights movement, he saw for himself. He was an eyewitness. He was arrested many times. He put his life and limb out there for black people, African Americans. And throughout his struggle, he came to the conclusion that black power is the only solution. The purpose of an education is to learn from the mistakes that you make. However, if our schools in the United States of America, the public school system, the private school system, doesn't teach black history, then how can we learn? And if we do not search for knowledge, if we don't research, or if our family is uneducated, we will have an uneducated black family from one generation to another. And the result would be we keep going in a circle, a circle, a circle, a never-ending circle where we don't even understand black history. We don't understand the achievements of black men, black women who died for us in the United States of America. So when we talk about black power, yes, we need black power. And we need it in every area of life. Whether you start in a business, the attorney that you hire, all of that makes a difference. In one of the articles that we have on New Black Voices, we explain, we talk about white attorneys giving advice to white people in bankruptcy proceedings, one advice, and they give their black clients a different advice. And the advice that they give white people is different from what they give to black people. Yet still, black people, African Americans, would hire a white attorney. It is part of the whole tragedy of a lack of an education. You could read those articles on New Black Voices. It deals with Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 bankruptcies, which is best for you. One of the other issues, obviously, is God. We believe in God and we execute the beliefs of God better than white people. And unfortunately, in bankruptcies, we believe that we should do a Chapter 13 rather than a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. And a Chapter 13 is where you consolidate your debt and you have debt for the rest of your life rather than a Chapter 7 where you get rid of the debt because we think God is going to be angry that we did a Chapter 13 rather than a Chapter 7. But if you read your Bible properly and you do research, you would see. And we have articles that quote the Bible where God says, hey man, do a Chapter 7. Again, my name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. So when we talk about integration, which doesn't happen, the biggest beneficiary is white people. And when we talk about black power, the biggest beneficiary is black people. Isn't it common sense to choose the approach of black power? Again, my name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Visit the law firm's website at www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. Not only do you schedule a consultation for the law firm of Figueroa & Associates at www.askthelawyer.us, but you could understand through our articles and our blogs that we have on that website the meaning of black power.
To understand the African American struggle and the black experience in America, visit newblackvoices.nyc. This is a publication supported by famed civil rights attorney Brian Fig A. Rowe.
Do you have a legal issue, question, or concern? Turn to Ask the Lawyer. You have questions, we've got answers. For a consultation or to refer a client, visit www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. You can also register for our paralegal program, get legal news, business consults, or other information on educational issues. Yes, ask the lawyer. You have questions, we've got answers.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For a consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
Hello, my name is Mary Campbell, legal assistant at the law firm of Fig A. Rowe and Associates, and your presenter with this week's immigration news. Trump's team real scheme revealed. A pledge to deport immigrants with legal status. Washington, D.C., the Trump campaign has made clear that no one is off the table when it comes to their promised unsparing and largest deportation operation in the history of our country. That mass deportation pledge and related unanswered details deserve renewed focus in light of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance's promises to deport Haitians who are in the U.S. legally, as David Kurtz of Talking Points memo assessed. The rhetoric that the Republican campaign is staking the race on continues to blur the line between legal and illegal immigration in a way that puts immigrants of all statuses at risk. According to Vanessa Cardenas, Executive Director of America's Voice, the Trump agenda is clear and consequential. Make as many immigrants as possible deportable, no matter their current legal status or their deep roots in this nation. From Haitians with TPS to dreamers with DACA to spouses of U.S. citizens, it's a cruel and violent vision that would rip apart American families, communities, and the U.S. economy. While Trump and his running mate dodge direct questions and refuse to provide key details about their mass family separation and mass deportation agenda, make no mistake about what they intend. It is bigger and darker than people imagine. The Trump campaign's ongoing focus on Haitians in Springfield is vile, but it is also telling about their broader vision for this nation. Immigrants are making Ohio great. Let's talk about that. 20 years ago, Springfield, Ohio, had a problem. Like many communities in the Rust Belt, it seemed like good times were a thing of the past. Once a manufacturing hub, the city had been losing population for decades, with rising unemployment and falling incomes. City leaders set about turning things around, developing a strategy to lure businesses of all kinds to the city. By all accounts, this strategy has been a success. In 2008, a major new hospital was built in the city, bringing in 1,800 new jobs. In 2011, a local university, Clark State, built a large new conference center. Millions of dollars were then poured into revitalizing the downtown. Tech companies moved into the region and opened new manufacturing plants. And in recent years, local retail shops in the downtown have begun to thrive. But with success came new challenges. With new businesses pouring into town, the demand for labor increased significantly, and the local labor supply wasn't enough. Enter immigrants. Around 2013 to 2014, Haitian immigrants began arriving in the town to fill open job postings. As of today, Springfield officials say there are anywhere from 12,000 to 20,000 Haitian immigrants living in the area, near all of whom have some form of lawful status. In many ways, Springfield is a success story. Meanwhile, in New York, Tim Pearson, Adams' aide under federal probe, blocked services to migrants as city shelters swelled. Pearson's intervention hampered efforts to help migrants get work papers. His communications with an official in charge of asylum seeker operations, Molly Sheffer, are the subject of a new subpoena. A top advisor to Mayor Eric Adams under federal investigation delayed for months a multimillion-dollar contract to provide caseworkers at migrant shelters, an investigation by the city has found, hampering urgent efforts to help asylum seekers get work papers and exit the shelter system as their numbers in the city skyrocketed. Without explaining his motives, Tim Pearson, a senior advisor to Adams assigned by the mayor to monitor asylum seeker shelter contracts, held up the contract with Cherokee Nation Management and Consulting LLC early this year, even after it had already been approved by the agency in charge of the effort, the City Health and Hospitals Corporation. His involvement in awarding contracts related to the migrant crisis appears to be one focus of Manhattan U.S. Attorney Damian Williams' investigations into possible City Hall corruption. Subpoena of asylum seeker office head points to widening federal probe of Adams' confidence. New York City's Office of Asylum Seeker Operations Director Molly Sheffer was hit with a request for information from federal investigators, an Adams administration source confirmed. The subpoena, which was first reported by the Associated Press, points to widening federal inquiry that's entangled a stunning number of top officials in Mayor Eric Adams' inner circle, from the former police commissioner Edward Keban to his longtime advisor and confidant Tim Pearson. Federal safety inspectors hit immigrant tobacco sweatshops with hazard fines. Federal workplace health and safety inspectors have found more than 24 fire, electrical, respiratory, and sanitary hazards at tobacco factories in Brooklyn and Queens, where immigrant workers complained about substandard pay and conditions. Hoth Ed Grabba, which packages tubes of loose ground tobacco leaves sold in smoke shops and bodegas around the New York region, is facing more than $91,000 in fines from the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration in probes that are still ongoing. The agency found 10 serious violations of federal health and safety laws at a Hoth Ed Grabba facility in Cypress Hills, Brooklyn, a category it reserves for hazards that could cause an accident or illness that would most likely result in death or serious physical harm. In other news, USCIS announces employment authorization procedures for Liberians covered by deferred enforced departure. On September 23, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services today posted a Federal Register notice establishing procedures for Liberians covered by deferred enforced departure to apply for employment authorization documents that will be valid through June 30, 2026. President Joe Biden issued a memorandum on DED for Liberians on June 28, 2024, deferring through June 30, 2026, the removal of certain Liberians who were eligible for DED under the President's 2022 memorandum, including individuals who have been continuously present in the United States since May 20, 2017. And finally, they have always made America great. From delicious food carts to metal parts manufacturing, immigrants help get the job done. The immigrant experience is embedded in everything and everyone who is an American today. It's what ties together the famous food carts of Philadelphia and a Dayton-based metal manufacturing company. From whipping up delicious cuisine to helping create metal parts for the aerospace, automotive, and energy industries, immigrant workers play critical roles in businesses and local communities all over the nation. And these workers will be key to our continued prosperity and growth, experts and observers say. Immigration is also key to our continued growth and will be essential in filling the nearly 9 million jobs that are currently open, economic experts say. We have a lot of jobs, but not enough workers to fill them, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce said in a July report. If every unemployed person in the country found a job, we would still have millions of open jobs. In fact, NPR reports that the broader data shows that immigrants are not displacing native workers, but rather filling a hole that's been created by retiring baby boomers. Were it not for immigration, job growth likely would have stalled. Thank you.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
Good day. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Yes, another fraud incident. Wendella Sanderson Wells. Yes, that's the lady. She out of Jamaica, a red woman, and she has been arrested by the Bronx District Attorney's Office. It is alleged that there are a couple thousand people, victims. People paid a lot of money, thousands of dollars. They went to this lady's office. They gave their hard-earned money, believing that they'll get a work permit and a social and a green card. And most of these people are what I call willing victims. Obviously, they're here, they overstay their time, they are desperate. They go to lawyers, attorneys like my office. I'm a member of the American Immigration Lawyers Association. And well-trained attorneys will tell most people coming to their office that if you came to the U.S. and you overstayed your time, the only way you could get a green card is if you are married to a U.S. citizen or a child, a U.S. citizen, 21 years or older, is petitioning for you. That's the law. All other areas of immigration, parts to legalization, depends on whether or not you're grandfathered under an old law called 245I, whether you are a beneficiary of parole in place, and that's for people who came to this country without inspection, married to a U.S. citizen before June 17th, 2024, and instead of going to their home country to get their green cards, they could collect their green cards in the United States of America. If you're married after June 17, we could still get you a green card if you came to the country without inspection, but you will have to go back to your home country. Not going to your home country is only for people who were married before June 17, 2024, unless Biden changes that day or our potential presidential candidate, Kamala Harris, Jamaican by heritage, changes that date and makes it available for people to have parole in place after June 17th of 2024. Does the law seem complicated? Yes, it is. So why do you think you could go to Wendella Sanderson Wells and she will give you what God didn't give you? Or any legit attorney, especially attorneys that are members of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, would tell you, hey, this is the path to legalization. So you take your 10,000, your 15,000, your 5,000, you give it to this lady, thinking that you're going to get a green card. You sign forms in blank. You don't even know what the lady's putting on the forms, or if she's filling out the forms and send it out. Are you a victim or are you just plain stupid, like my grandmother would say? Whether you're from Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, she came after you. Africa, Latin America. The lady bought several properties, it is said, in different reports, from all this money she made. How long is she going to go to prison for? Let's hope it is for a long time. But you ain't getting your money back. And not only that, when you do have a legit reason to get a work permit, social, and green card, immigration is going to ask you, why did you commit fraud? Yes. And a lot of people like to say, well, I didn't do anything, I didn't write anything, the lady tell me this, the lady tell me that. Well, they don't want to hear that little stupid nonsense from you. You went, you signed a form in blank, And what do you think the lady was going to put on those forms? You are responsible for every information that you put on these forms. And later on, if you do have to get a green card, you will have to probably do a fraud waiver. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Yes, Ali Louison, Grenadian, did the same thing to people. People were signing forms in blank. Eventually, he was indicted by the federal government in Virginia on 13 counts of felony fraud. Luckily for him, he died before he went to prison. Maybe somebody would have made him a little girlfriend. You know how prison is. Anyway, but he died, and he had a lot of victims, and many of these people were placed in deportation. Just like Wendella, Sanderson, Wells, people who are quote-unquote victims of her fraud may end up in deportation proceedings. If you get a NTA, notice to appear, you better hire a great attorney, an attorney who understands fraud issues, and an attorney who understands the various defenses that you may have for deportation, and an attorney who is obviously experienced dealing with matters where people were defrauded by some crook. Again, my name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. If you're listening to this show in the Caribbean, if you're listening to this show in the U.S., talk to your family members. Call the office, schedule a consultation. It could either be in person or via the phone. Visit our website, Ask the Lawyer, the law firm of Figueroa & Associates, at www.askthelawyer.us. Again, www.askthelawyer.us. Thank you.
Do you want to be a paralegal? Or are you planning to go to law school? Our Chamber Coalition's online paralegal program is the right program to get you started. Some of the areas of law include contracts, property law, tort liability, civil procedure, constitutional law, immigration, civil rights, estate planning, wills and trusts, and matrimonial, plus legal research and writing, legal marketing, and small business. We also use Cali, which is used in law schools, and you get extra certificates from Clio and LexisNexis. By graduating from this program, you can market yourself as a virtual paralegal for attorneys and law firms in New York State. There is a one-time fee of $550. Are you excited to learn more? Register for an orientation at www.freeparalegal.org. That's www.freeparalegal.org.
Crucially, for a firm located in the Caribbean or Africa, it would be excellent to hire a marketing firm and distributor in the U.S. to facilitate marketing its products in the U.S. market. Such businesses could effectively maneuver their ways through the competitive and complex U.S. market in case they engaged a local marketing firm to make sure that their products properly got to the intended population by the use of targeted strategies. Marketing companies at the local level are better aware of cultural idiosyncrasies, consumer behavior, and the regulatory environment than would a foreign company, and this would tangibly improve the strength of marketing campaigns. Partnering with a distributor in the USA would ensure smooth logistics and distribution network systems that would further minimize the risk of any possible delay in getting the product to the consumer. This can help businesses build a strong presence in the market and, in turn, establish brand recognition more easily. Moreover, the knowledge of local partners by firms proves to be both a time and resource saver for businesses concentrating their efforts in production and innovation. In general, U.S. marketing firm and distributor hirings would present a strategic advantage for Caribbean and African businesses, increasing market share.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
Good day, good day, good day. My name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa and Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. You got questions, we got answers. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. Thank you to our listenership in Jamaica, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, because, hey, one big issue that has, surfaced is what we call derivative citizenship. When people are placed in deportation, what starts the proceedings is what we call a NTA, a notice to appear. On the notice to appear, there are different allegations, 5-7 of them. One of them is that you are not a U.S. citizen. And the standard practice of our law firm is we obviously want to know whether or not that person is a U.S. citizen. They may have a green card, but they also may be a citizen and they do not know. Yes. And unfortunately, people have been deported from the United States of America that are U.S. citizens. Yes. Why? Because people may represent themselves because they don't have a right to an attorney. People may have an attorney that lacks experience. That unfortunately may be common. And what you need is a competent attorney that has done these type of hearings representing people on deportation matters. What is the relief for deportation for green card holders? It's either cancellation of removal if you're here for 7 years with a green card, cancellation of removal if you're here for 10 years without a green card, political asylum, and other defenses. However, from the time your first hearing at immigration court, you never plead and say, I am not a citizen. You need to consult with an attorney. Whether represented or not, are you a U.S. citizen? Now, in December 2001, derivative citizenship was simplified by the Child Act. What does that mean? If you are a green card holder and your parents became a U.S. citizen before your 18th birthday, you are automatically a citizen. Prior to December 21st, 2000, you had to look at different issues. 1, were your parents married? 2, were one of your parents a step-parents? 3, whether or not under the bastard law, yes, a bastard is someone born out of wedlock, that's what they called it, and still do. What was the bastard law in Jamaica? What was the bastard law in TNT, Ghana, Nigeria? So it was a complicated way of determining whether or not you was a derivative citizen. And if you was a bastard, that was a negative for you, unfortunately. It is a way of obviously people, the U.S. government encouraging people, to be married before they have a child. So we have had calls from different islands where we have had people that have been ordered deported that are U.S. citizens. And obviously those people would like to re-enter the United States of America. If you believe that you are a U.S. citizen and wrongly deported, we could fix that situation for you. Give us a call. Again, the number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. For those of you who might be in the U.S. and you think you may be a derivative citizen, you should also give us a call. Because with your citizenship, you will have many different benefits that obviously green card holders do not have. Again, my name is Brian Figueroa of the law firm Figueroa & Associates. This is Ask the Lawyer. The number to call, the number to keep, the number to share is 855-768-8845. Again, 855-768-8845. And yes, they didn't like bastards. I was a bastard, and look how I, prospered in life. Peace to God.
Are you struggling with overwhelming debt, facing bankruptcy, but feeling ashamed? You're not alone. The Bible teaches forgiveness, not just for our sins, but for our financial burdens too. In Matthew 18, Jesus tells us about a servant whose massive debt was forgiven by his master, a reflection of God's mercy toward us. And in Deuteronomy 15, God instructed the release of debts every 7 years, showing that it's okay to seek financial relief. Filing for bankruptcy isn't a failure. It's a fresh start, a way to seek forgiveness and reclaim your life. Let go of the shame and embrace the grace that God offers. Remember, there's no condemnation for those who seek His forgiveness. Start your journey to financial freedom today. Bankruptcy is not the end. It's the beginning of something new. Call 855-768-8845 or visit askthelawyer.us to schedule a consultation today.
Hi, my name is Brian Anthony Figueroa, and you are listening to Ask the Lawyer with my father, Brian Figueroa.
Common law marriage in Jamaica, when it's recognized as a marriage and when a divorce is required. Common law marriages, often misunderstood, refer to relationships where couples live together and present themselves as married without formalizing the union through a legal marriage ceremony or civil registration. In Jamaica, common law relationships are prevalent due to cultural norms and economic factors. However, the legal recognition of such relationships and the requirements for dissolving them differ significantly from formal marriages. This analysis will explore when a common law relationship in Jamaica is considered equivalent to a marriage, the circumstances under which a divorce is required, and when parties may acknowledge that they are not married. Understanding these distinctions is crucial for navigating the legal implications of common law unions in Jamaica. Understanding common law relationships in Jamaica. Definition and legal recognition. In Jamaica, a common law relationship refers to a union where a couple lives together as if they are married, sharing domestic responsibilities and presenting themselves as a couple without undergoing a formal marriage process. These unions are also known as visiting relationships or consensual unions, and they have deep cultural roots, particularly among lower-income groups and rural communities. While common law relationships are not recognized as marriages per se, Jamaican law acknowledges these relationships in certain legal contexts, particularly under the Property Rights of Spouses Act, PRSA, and the Maintenance Act. The Property Rights of Spouses Act, PRSA, and Common Law Unions. The PRSA, enacted in 2004, is a significant piece of legislation that provides rights to individuals in common law relationships, particularly in relation to property division. Under this act, common law spouses who have cohabited for at least 5 years are entitled to similar property rights as legally married couples. This includes the right to apply to the court for a division of property upon the breakdown of the relationship or the death of one party. the PRSA recognizes the contributions of common law spouses to the acquisition and maintenance of property, ensuring that they are not left destitute if the relationship ends. However, it is important to note that the PRSA does not equate common law relationships with legal marriages in every aspect. While it provides property rights, it does not extend to other marital rights and obligations, such as inheritance rights or spousal privileges under certain laws. This distinction is crucial in understanding when a common law relationship is treated as a marriage and when it is not. When is a common law relationship equivalent to a marriage? Property rights and cohabitation. A common law relationship in Jamaica becomes significant in legal terms primarily through the lens of property rights. According to the PRSA, once a couple has cohabited continuously for at least 5 years, the relationship is recognized as equivalent to a marriage for the purposes of property division. This means that upon separation, either party can apply to the court for a share of the family home, assets acquired during the relationship, and other properties deemed part of the union. The law considers several factors when determining entitlement, including the duration of the relationship, the contributions of each party, both financial and non-financial, and the overall circumstances of the relationship. Importantly, the PRSA aims to ensure fairness and equity, recognizing that contributions in a common law relationship, such as homemaking or child rearing, are just as valuable as financial contributions. Maintenance obligations. Another area where common law relationships are treated similarly to marriages is in maintenance obligations. Under the Maintenance Act, common law spouses have the right to seek financial support from their partner if the relationship ends. To qualify, the couple must have lived together for at least 5 years, or have a child together, or have cohabited for a significant period before separating. The court may order maintenance payments to ensure that a former common law spouse is not left financially vulnerable following the end of the relationship. Recognition of rights without formal marriage. The recognition of property and maintenance rights for common law spouses demonstrates that, in certain respects, a common law relationship is treated as a marriage under Jamaican law. However, it is crucial to understand that this recognition is limited and does not extend to other legal benefits associated with formal marriage, such as tax benefits, automatic inheritance rights, and spousal privileges. And when is a divorce required? Divorce in formal marriages. In Jamaica, divorce is a legal process that dissolves a formal marriage recognized by law. The process requires that the parties were legally married in a civil or religious ceremony and that there has been an irretrievable breakdown of the marriage. The parties must have been separated for at least 12 months before filing for divorce, and one or both must demonstrate that reconciliation is unlikely. The divorce process involves filing a petition in the Supreme Court, and if the court is satisfied with the grounds, a decree nisi is granted, followed by a decree absolute, which officially ends the marriage. Divorce not required for common law relationships. For common law relationships, there is no equivalent to divorce because these unions are not considered legal marriages under Jamaican law. When a common law relationship ends, there is no need to go through a formal divorce process. Instead, the parties can simply separate, although legal proceedings may still be necessary if disputes arise over property division, maintenance, or child custody. However, despite the absence of a formal divorce requirement, common law spouses may still need to engage with the legal system to resolve disputes that arise from the dissolution of their relationship. For example, if one partner seeks a share of property or maintenance, they must apply to the court under the relevant provisions of the PRSA or the Maintenance Act. Thus, while a divorce per se is not required, legal intervention may still be necessary to settle matters fairly. Legal distinctions between separation and divorce. The key distinction between common law separation and formal divorce lies in the legal status of the relationship. In a divorce, the court formally dissolves a legally recognized marriage, ending the spouse's rights and obligations to each other. In a common law separation, the relationship simply ceases without the need for court intervention, unless property or maintenance claims are involved. This distinction underscores the importance of understanding the nature of common law relationships in Jamaica. While these unions are recognized for certain legal purposes, they do not carry the full weight of formal marriages, and their dissolution does not require the same legal procedures as divorce. When do parties acknowledge that they are not married? Acknowledging the absence of formal marriage. Acknowledging that a common law relationship does not constitute a formal marriage is an important aspect of navigating the legal landscape in Jamaica. Parties in a common law union may explicitly acknowledge this by their actions, such as choosing not to formalize the relationship through a marriage ceremony or refraining from referring to each other as husband and wife in legal or official contexts. In some cases, parties may explicitly state in legal documents, such as cohabitation agreements or wills, that they are not legally married. These acknowledgments help clarify the status of the relationship and set expectations regarding property rights, inheritance, and other legal matters. Implications of not being married. The implications of not being legally married can be significant, especially in areas such as inheritance and legal privileges. Common law spouses do not automatically inherit each other's estates unless explicitly stated in a will. Additionally, they may not have the same rights in medical decision-making or spousal privilege in legal proceedings. This lack of formal recognition underscores the importance of legal planning for individuals in common law relationships, including drafting wills, powers of attorney, and cohabitation agreements to protect their interests. Disputes over relationship status. Disputes over whether a relationship constitutes a marriage can arise, particularly in legal contexts where one party seeks recognition of the relationship for financial gain or legal rights. Courts may be called upon to determine the nature of the relationship, examining factors such as cohabitation duration, shared financial responsibilities, and public acknowledgement of the relationship. In these cases, the court's determination can have significant legal and financial implications, particularly concerning property division and maintenance obligations. However, it is essential to note that even in cases where a common law relationship is recognized for certain purposes, it is still distinct from a formal marriage and does not require a divorce to end. Conclusion: common law relationships in Jamaica occupy a unique legal position, recognized for certain rights and protections while distinct from formal marriages. These unions gain legal recognition primarily through property and maintenance rights under the PRSA and the Maintenance Act, provided certain conditions are met, such as a minimum period of cohabitation. However, these relationships do not require a formal divorce process to end, reflecting their status as separate from legal marriages. Acknowledging the differences between common law relationships and formal marriages is crucial for individuals navigating these unions. While common law spouses may enjoy certain rights similar to those of married couples, their legal status remains distinct, and dissolution of the relationship does not necessitate court intervention unless disputes arise. Understanding the nuances of common law relationships, including when they are treated as marriages and when they are not, is essential for ensuring that both parties' rights and obligations are clearly defined and respected. Diamonds are forever. Marriages are not. If you are considering a divorce or separation, consult with the compassionate and experienced team at the law firm of Fig Rowe. Call 855-768-8845 or visit askthelawyer.us to book a consultation. The lawyer you hire does make a difference.
Divorce, separation, support, custody. The common factor? They keep you up at night. Sleep well knowing that you have the law firm of Figaro and Associates on your side through this difficult time. Don't divorce your money. Don't divorce your children. Divorce your spouse. Whether it's a contested or uncontested divorce, the law firm of Figaro and Associates will guide you through every step of the process. From child custody to property and debt concerns, the law firm of Figaro and Associates has the experience and expertise in handling cases involving significant assets and complicated issues. A divorce can be one of the most unpleasant experiences a person ever has to go through. Don't do it alone. Stop the sleepless nights and call the law firm of Figaro and Associates, 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845, or visit 311divorce.com. That's 311divorce.com. At the law firm of Figaro and Associates, a divorce is not the end, it's a new beginning.
This show is a production of IQ Inc. Marketing. If you would like to advertise your product or service on this show to the U.S. and Caribbean markets, and through our multicultural publications in New York. Please call 866-435-3286 or send an email to info@myiqinc.com.